Welcome to this presentation of the Dimension Manager by Dynamics Nav add-ons. Dimensions in Nav are a wonderful thing. They developed originally back when Nav was first developed and has been expanded out to encompass 8 different dimensions, 2 global and 6 extended dimensions. When companies get an idea of what exactly dimensions can do for them, they tend to use them more and more and more. Essentially, a dimension is a data tag for data to be able to use for sorting purposes for reports. It's very simple and very flexible. You can create any dimension you want, any values you want, as many values as you want, and the flexibility is absolutely unparalleled in any other ERP system. The problem, however, is that the people who post transactions generally don't know what dimensions are and why they're important, and don't pay attention and be careful when posting them accurately. So when the reports get produced, the people reading the reports look at them and say, this can't possibly be right. And when they go back in and examine the data, they find that a mistake was made. Nav does not allow you to be able to correct posting errors with dimensions other than to credit out the transaction and recreate it. This can be extremely taxing, especially if a lot of transactions are involved. The other problem that Nav has is that once a company discovers the power of dimensions, they start dreaming up all kinds of new uses for them. And the question always comes up is, can I create attach the dimension values to all of our old transactions? And in Nav, the answer is no. The Dimension Manager, however, allows a user to add, modify, or delete any dimension value to any posted transaction. And there are a lot of different ways of doing it. You can do it as an individual transaction change. You can do it for the ledger entries. You can do it for master records. You can do it for a variety of different ways. And now we have just recently introduced the ability to be able to change dimension values at the document line level with a certain limitation. And I'm not going to go, other than there is a limitation to what it can do based on the structure of Nav and how Nav posts dimensions. I will go over and show how we change dimensions. So let's go to Posted Documents. We'll select a document and open it up. We'll pick the Canon group. And the first thing we want to do is take a look and see what the dimensions are currently. If we open this up, we'll see that the dimension area is set for 30, customer medium, department sales, project VW, and salesperson Peter Sadow. So we're going to change the project code from VW to Mercedes. So the way we do that is we navigate on the transaction and we go to Actions and we say Change Dimension. So now, when we change the dimension, all of these lines, all of the related lines, every single line in here that was created during the original posting will be updated with the new dimension value. So we go to Change Dimension, select the dimension that we want to change. In this case, we'll select Project. And we'll select, we don't care what it is. We simply want to define what we want it to be. So we're going to say that it is going to be Mercedes. And we click OK. And it's done. So now, let's go look at the GL entry. Now I selected a global dimension so that you can be able to easily see it on the line. So we're going to say we're going to show the entries, So here are the 9 lines that were created, and as you can see, they all show the project code to be now Mercedes. Now, when you do this, and if we go back to the document, to the original document, and we now take a look at the dimensions, it's now been changed to Mercedes. So you could do this on any posted document by simply going to the Navigate screen and making the change. Now, one of the things that was pointed out to us is that we really need to be able to have an audit trail to be able to go back and see what was done. So if we go to Navigate again, and if we go to Actions, we see not only do we have a button that says Change Dimension, but we have Dimension Management History. So if we click on Dimension Management History, it will show us who changed the dimension, when it was. This entry type is a change as opposed to a batch change. Okay, who did it, what the old code was. So we see, let's take a look here and choose the header height. So we see here that this was the old code. Project code was VW. And here's the new code, Mercedes. Who changed it? The user ID of the person that changed it. When they changed it, the date and time. And the document filter that was used. There's the posting date filter. And what got changed. Table by table, field by field, what got changed. So you can see a complete history of everything that was changed, which will satisfy anybody that's concerned about Sarbanes-Oxley. Now, if you want, if you go and look and say, this change was made in error, it should not have been done, you can simply click on Undo Dimension Change, and it will make a reversing entry. So now, let's go back to the dimensions, and we can see that it is now back to VW the way it was. So you have complete control. You can change change dimensions in any document quickly and easily. You can you can view who did the change, and you can undo it if you need to. And in fact, you can batch change entries. If you, for example, need to be able to change multiple entries, you can batch change the dimensions. So, for example, if you want to change only the entries that were made for Mercedes,